A pair of big wins for y'all, and now in the top 25. I guess, how have you seen the team kind of, bounce back and kind of start, looking forward to the next game, after all the accomplishments of this weekend?
Well, I haven't seen them since we got off the bus Sunday night after returning from Connecticut. Mood was great. We did we accomplished our goal. Went up there, won a trophy, won a championship. That's kind of what we talked a lot about prior to leaving, and then during the actual tournament. They had a much needed day off yesterday to kind of regroup, take care of their business academically. Only a short week, make sure we tidy up all of that that we need to do, and then have a fresh set of legs and minds here this afternoon. We'll regroup and start getting ready for the next game.
All right, we'll go behind Steph to Danny P to coach's left.
Coach, winning that championship, just how much some of those younger guys get to hold a trophy and be an experienced part of that, help them at this stage of their career?
Again, you'd have to ask them. It's not something that I've asked them, but I can't imagine that it's nothing but a positive experience for them to be a part of a team that, won a championship. Certainly, it's a smaller goal of ours each and every year when we're in one of those tournaments, and it's a tournament format rather than a classic format where it's predetermined opponents, where you have a chance to play in that tournament type of atmosphere, which I prefer, because it doesn't happen until the end of the year, and then if you're fortunate enough to play in postseason, so it's hard to simulate. But getting back to your question, I think it can only be a positive thing for us.
We'll go to Paul and then to John in the back.
Any updates on Jaquan and Keyshawn when they may return?
Jaquan has been day to day. Probably could have played Sunday in an emergency situation, but really didn't want to put him out there when, he wasn't fully confident. But he's a day to day. I can't imagine that he won't be, at least that or better by Friday. It just takes some time with the injury that he sustained. Keyshawn is still, diligently doing his rehab, working with Andrew Kegley, our trainer, who's been excellent with all the injuries that we've sustained. He's been unbelievable with the hours he's put in, and I'll get more of an update this afternoon with him.
And I know you didn't get to see him as much as you wanted to in practice, but back when Tolu was healthy this summer, just kind of describe how that competition was and those battles in practice was between Tolu and Jimmy Bell.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. You're talking about two experienced, veteran, big dudes going at one another, and they did it in such a respectful way. I think both of them knew once they got a feel for one another that they were going to get along well and that they could make each other better. Even though it was competitive, it was from a respectful vantage point. Certainly disappointed, with the situation that happened with Tolu, that, they couldn't continue to do that. But hopefully here, come January, that won't be the case anymore. But, it was really fun. I guess it was fun while it lasted.
Chris, having 3 kind of Power 5 wins and having kind of the start that y'all had this year to obviously start out 5-0, do you think that kind of success this early would translate to confidence to the guys? Do you think that could kind of pay dividends for your next few games in terms of early season success and all that good stuff based on your experience?
The time will tell. You would think so on face value. It's something we talked about a lot heading into the first game of the tournament, that I wanted them to play with that confidence. They were here in this room for a reason. I had a lot of faith in them. I wanted them to play with confidence in themselves, and then at the same time, play with confidence, as a group, as a unit, and have that trust that's connecting through great teams that happens over time. And I thought for the most part, we did that over the weekend, but how that, moves us forward, time will tell. But you would think, like I said, on face value, that would be something that, some of the newer guys would feel good about, and not just, in their own games, but even with trusting what we're trying to do. you know, what we're trying to do as a program, with our schemes, with what we're asking them to do on a daily basis. And then, you know, sometimes when they get in the games and then the results come and we show them on video, like, it does work. I know, you know, sometimes it sounds crazy, what we're trying to ask you to do, or it's something new, more you know, probably more like it, more new to them, and you know, everyone raises their eyebrows at new sometimes and change. And when it works, you know, you're lucky and fortunate, because then, you know, the buy-in becomes even better.
We'll go to Justin in the front row and then behind him to Benjamin.
Chris, obviously it's your second 5-0 start here at Mississippi State. Just from your perspective, what feels different about where you guys are at this point this year compared to last season?
Haven't thought about it. You know, last season's over, and certainly, you know, every game, every year, you get experience from it. You can glean from it as you go forward. But in particular to that question, you know, really hasn't crossed my mind. The difference this year is just the injuries. You know, we've had to retool how we played, and I kept saying that in the fall, that the only silver lining was that we had time. You know, we had all that time to tinker with lineups and figure out, you know, how we needed to play without, you know, an all SEC proven guy around the basket that we had, you know, played offense through. And so that was the silver lining. And our staff has done an unbelievable job of coming up with ideas of how we need to play on both ends of the floor. And the guys, you know, that are healthy are getting into the game.
And then Andrew, I think, only played about 15-20 seconds between those two games this week. And just what do you feel is his role right now, and sort of maybe how he's adjusting to what he did with compared to what he did with Marshall last year?
What he did at Marshall is irrelevant, you know, to us. It's a new year, new program. Basketball is a marathon. You know, basketball seasons are longer than, you know, most if not all, you know, college sports seasons. And so there are a lot of ups and downs to most seasons, individually and collectively. And, you know, we'll see how the season unfolds. And, you know, there's a lot of time to, you know, have opportunities to get in there and prove yourself. And I know he'll have opportunities going forward.